I'm Professor Ajmer Singh Malik, paper coordinator for first paper of Public Administration and Introduction. After discussing the meaning of the public administration, now we come to nature, scope of public administration. We will take it in a very brief manner. You have to go through the text for updating yourself and for understanding in a complete sense. So first of all, let's discuss about the nature of public administration. Normally, the nature of a discipline is determined on the basis of its properties and its characteristics. In other words, the properties of issues in domain in a discipline determine the nature of that particular discipline, and so is with the public administration. The public administration is, as we discussed, is a discipline concerned with the activities and functions of the government, and its domain is quite diverse and divergent one, as we discussed particularly under the definitions of the wider definitions of the public administration. Naturally, keeping in view the various facets of the process of the public administration or the domain of the public administration, the scholar tried to understand the nature of public administration, like the meaning of the public administration under two categories, or we say, although it's not dependent on the traditional and narrow sense, but it depends on certain other things. And we will discuss, we'll try to find out that there are two schools, there are two views regarding the nature of the public administration, and those views are: number one, the first one is the integral view, or we call it integral school of public administration. What is this integral school of public administration? According to this school, or according to this view, every activity performed in an organization, maybe it is manual, maybe it is clerical, maybe it is managerial, means from a person working at the lowest level of the hierarchy up to the top level, everyone is performing, every function, every activity constitutes the public administration. This is the integral school of public administration. It means all activities performed by the lowest level of functionary up to the head or the chief executive, all acts of administration, and if it is public administration, all acts of public administration. Many scholars like Woodrow Wilson, L.D. White, Marshall E. Demock, Pfiffner, Percy McQueen, etc., they are the advocate of this school. So, not going in that detail, only telling the essence of the integrated school of public administration. The second school, which we call it the managerial view or the managerial school of public administration. Luther Gulick, Merson, Simon, Fayol are the supporter of this view. The scholars who is supporting the managerial school of public administration consider all such activities which are performed by the executive branch of the government and involves the organizational and managerial activities only, that is the public administration. In a simple, then naturally the managerial activities which are relating to the planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling, those constitute the public administration, and the manual, clerical, and technical and non-managerial functions of the organizations are not part of the public administration, whereas the modern comprehensive view. In real sense, we say there have been tremendous changes in the domain of public administration and in the nature of public administration over the years, or with the growth of the civilization. The role of the government has changed over the years. It has been changing. It is not static. And therefore, the nature of public administration now cannot be defined as on the basis of the earlier views. And that is integral or the managerial view. And we say the definition of the Negro have elaborated it to you in this lecture that's consisted of all those 4 activities that gives a comprehensive view of public administration, means it provides a wide-ranging activities of public administration, and whether it is managerial or the integral view, it does not depend on that. It depends upon the contents or the services or the cooperative efforts or the public affairs. So it depends on so many things. The nature of the public administration depends on them. Now, let's take the scope of public administration. What constitutes the public administration? What is there in the domain of the public administration? Normally, it has become a customary that we discuss the scope of public administration under 2 headings. One, as a state activity, and the second, as an academic discipline. The first of all, we take when public administration is considered as a state activity or a governmental activity, whatever you call it. As a state activity, ours or most of the nations nowadays, it's a democratic state. And in a democratic states, there are certain ethics and values of those democratic states. In order to ensure democracy, all those operations or those activities which is relating to that, that's a part of, that's under the domain of the public administration. In other words, you can say the state in actions and interactions that constitute the domain of the public administration. Every kind of action and interactions with anything, it tries to ensure or tries to regulate the public life. As we stated in the meaning of the administration, and at the outset we discussed, what is not private, what is not personal, in a particular cultural setting, at a particular point of time, that needs to be regulated. But nowadays, we are passing through the technological age. And in such a circumstances, if we give an example from India, that National Population Register or Aadhaar cards, we are trying even to peep into the privacy of the individuals. And it is almost very, very difficult for managing the affairs of the state if we are not regulating the public life. There are so many social tensions, so many problems, so many things associated with the public life that needs to be regulated. Now, as a discipline of public administration, what constitutes domain of public administration as a discipline? Normally, when we are considering this domain as an academic discipline, every issue, every institution, and every process which is concerned with the public affairs, defined in the sense we discussed as an activity of the public administration, that constitute the area of study, that constitute the domain of public administration as an academic discipline. We are trying to deliberate the things nowadays. We are trying to make the governance, good governance, citizen-centric governance, efficient governance, economic governance based on economy, and an effective one. And naturally, it is concerned with certain, we say, scholastic kind of or intellectual kind of the subject area, how to make the state activity more citizen-centric, more people-oriented, or which can contribute to the qualitative life of the citizens, that parts that's relating to that aspect. That's a wider view or the modern view of the scope as a part of that one. Although, if we don't discuss the earlier scholars who tried to confine the scope of public administration as an academic discipline to certain activities. If we don't discuss that, then it will be an incomplete talk on this topic. That's why I'm referring to Henry Fayol, who said that all those things which are concerned with planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling, those are the managerial activities. We discussed it earlier. That at all issues, all institution and process relating to these, that constitute the domain of public administration as an academic discipline. Then Luther Gulick also elaborated all these things, and post-Corbu, all you know, post-Corb, different kind of the activities which are common to all organizations. That's planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. That's no doubt the old one. But this is the post-Corb view as the domain of public administration, or the narrower view. Means Fayol and Luther Gulick, they advocate the narrow view of public administration, and in that case, that activities relating to all this managerial function, as Fayol stated, and we say that planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, budgeting, as Gulick stated, the issues relating to all these things, which are common to all kinds of the organizations, those are the contents or the components of the study of public administration, or we say under the domain of the public administration as an academic discipline. But there is another viewpoint in this case, that is the subject matter view. And according to this subject matter view, this is what they say, that post-Corb is not restricted. The contents of the public administration cannot be restricted to the post-Corb view, because as we can cite an example, the functions in a defense department may not be similar. The functions of a elementary education department, the subject matter is a different one. No doubt, all those activities which are defined by the post-Corb, those may be similar, but the subject matter is different. And that's why the contents or the components of the public administration, those will be beyond the post-Corb activities. We have to understand the subject of a particular nature so as to deliver the services, so as to perform role of public administration in a better manner. Instead, we take the consideration of the narrow view. Means without understanding the subjects, we cannot improve our performance, we cannot improve the performance of the public administration. So although there is a detailed discussion on this issue, but we have to restrict it with this one, that the subject matter has to be understood, and when subject matter is to be understood, the domain of the public administration cannot be restricted as per the post-Corb view. And for better understanding, it is very, very important to take all the subjects relating to the administration or relating to the public administration. Complete understanding of that that subject is necessary, and that's why the contents of the public administration are much greater than we expect in a traditional view of public administration.